It's very difficult to sometimes do restoration projects. We updated everything in this house that we felt could be a potential issue for a buyer who didn't want a lot of maintenance. What I love so much about this house is that you can come into it and you feel the grandeur of the home, and yet there's aspects of the home that really make it feel very inviting and warm. It has a little bit of the eclectic nature. At the same time, it has a lot of charm. Those kind of combinations of things really made us fall in love with the home. It has so much eclectic, artistic flair to it, because one of the things that was really important to them was to have a home that they could showcase their prized art collection. We realized that from the very beginning, it felt like this home was supposed to be more of a modern kind of home. In one of the closets, we found that a lot of them had automatic lighting. When you'd open up the closet door, the lights would come on. That was not popular 100 years ago, and yet they had the forethought to put in some of those elements. I think unlike a lot of flips or where people come in and they just change things to be more modern, it's not as simple with this. We had to really make sure that we chose materials, we chose craftsmen that were going to really be able to bring in the elements that we needed to preserve the historic side of the home. And those are small details that maybe most people would never think about, but that's why we chose this project. It was a much bigger challenge than just any old fix and flip, and we're really proud of the way that it came out. You'll see that bathroom has one massive piece of green marble on the floor. So when you're in the home, you just feel like the farther and farther you go into it, it has more and more of these little nooks and crannies and seating areas that are just very inviting and very interesting. And the way it just flows outside onto the front porch or back onto the back patio area, and you can really tell that they really put a lot of thought into the design when they built it. We actually ended up partnering with a designer that's here local to Durham, and her name is Lily, and she did an amazing job. I mean, you can see from the color choices to the chandeliers to all the finishes that she really put an amazing touch on this home to really kind of marry those two of the historic and the modern. I think that as we got into it and learned more of the history is where a lot of the finishing touches and some of the design changes really began to evolve. For example, it was only probably about a little more than halfway through the project we decided to vault all the ceilings in the second story. Everything from the custom, cabinetry work that we did, you can see in the master, and you walk in, all the built-ins, all really had that touch, and that just completely transformed the space. So I think that's the trade-off and the challenge of working with a historic renovation, is you get to revive some of these elements of the home that would probably never have lasted that long if they weren't done to such a high quality. And yet the things that we did have to restore, if you're gonna make them last another 100 years, it's gonna take a while. So yeah, it was quite a challenge. It is a nationally registered historic home. We did a lot of working, for example, with the terracotta floors in the basement. So when we did the fireplace, what we did is we decided to redo it by putting the stucco in to match the exterior. We really tried to showcase the fact that the home was meant to host and to be interesting and to have just a modern character as well as a historic element to it. This home was restored to last another 100 years. Our hope is that whoever buys it really wants to see this as a part of their legacy that they're able to preserve and to pass on to future generations.